Experts say that what cannot be measured or controlled can never be corrected or maximized. And so in addition to the challenges we've been carrying out, it's not just about having objectives and goals, but also to have indicators to tell ourselves the truth and be able to make progress towards what we want. Are you measuring your objectives? Do you have control executing your budget, your time, establishing goals and objectives? Allow this devotional to serve as a tool today, because all who remain in God will bear much fruit and will be pruned to bear much more. Okay, today I want to congratulate you because we reach our 20th challenge. And what we are going to do today and tomorrow is to cover how to build our life plan, how to make these challenges into our life plan for the year 2025. And remember that we should begin to prepare for our fast next week. Write down your petitions, prepare as a family, coordinate with your prayer partner. And so be prepared so that this is not improvised, but planned, organized, so that we receive the results we expect from our fast. I'm going to begin with a biblical text in regards to Jesus and the disciples. In Luke chapter 10, and we'll see how the Lord gives them instructions, telling them to go out in groups of 2 and to go first to the lost sheep of the house of Israel. And here in Luke 10, it no longer talks about the mission of 12, but the mission of 70. Okay, let's read beginning verse 1. It says, "After this, the Lord appointed 72 others and sent them 2 by 2 ahead of him to every town and place where he was about to go. He told them, 'The harvest is plentiful, but the workers are few. Ask the Lord of the harvest, therefore, to send out workers into his harvest field. Go, I am sending you out like lambs among wolves. Do not take a purse or a bag or sandals, and do not greet anyone on the road. When you enter a house, first say, "Peace to this house." If someone who promotes peace is there, your peace will rest on them. If not, it will return to you. Stay there, eating and drinking whatever they give you, for the worker deserves his wages. Do not move around from house to house." In this chapter, Jesus gives instructions to the disciples of where they should go, what they were to do, what they should not do. And here Jesus is delegating an important task to his disciples. But if you read in the same chapter 10, but verse 17, it says, the 72 returned with joy and said, "Lord, even the demons submit to us in your name." He replied, "I saw Satan fall like lightning from heaven. I have given you authority to trample on snakes and scorpions and to overcome all the power of the enemy. Nothing will harm you. However, do not rejoice that the spirits submit to you, but rejoice that your names are written in heaven." So Jesus didn't just send them out. After they went and they came back, he met with them and he asked them, how did it go? What happened? And this is where we read the story where he says, "I'm glad the demons submitted to you, but this is not what's most important. What's important is that your names are written in heaven." And why do I want to mention the story? Because here we see Jesus giving instructions, but also giving specific orders, organizing, asking questions. Did you do what was asked for of you? How did you do? What is the conclusion? Having carried out these 20 challenges that are there in your notes is a great task. And I know that many did it with discipline. I know that many put in the effort and today have great notes and they have this spectacular material in their hands to begin developing their life plan. I know that some have perhaps fallen short and not completed all the challenges, but you still have time to go back and cover the ones you missed. And so the idea is that all of this, all these notes that we have will work if we practice them, if we carry them out and ask questions, if we carry them out and we follow up. We ask ourselves, okay, how am I doing with this? For example, if someone said, I'm going to read the Bible in a year, and today is February 1, the question is, did you already begin? And so here we have an indicator In other words, if I want to read the Bible this year, the entire Bible this year, and we've gone through 31, 32 days of the month of the year so far, but have not yet begun, or perhaps you began slow, without a plan. And this is where we must learn to be honest with ourselves, because often we tend to procrastinate or have excuses, and we say, well, I'll do it tomorrow, or I'll begin to plan. But that's not how it works. If we have a budget, we have to execute that budget. And so I'll look at my budget, and if I said I was going to spend this amount of money only on these things, then I review at least at the end of each month and see where I spent the most. Why did I go out and spend that money? Where did that come from? Did my income go up or come down? And so this information leads us to make decisions. And I cannot make decisions if I do not have a balance. And so our devotional today is, how do I convert my challenges into a life plan? And so let me give you some examples. But here, perhaps many will not like this topic, because we have to put in some work. We have to make a list, a spreadsheet, or some images, because these are very helpful. For example, in regards to the budget, I've always said our budgets must be written down, and I have to have it on hand in order to make changes. Because if I read it, I make changes. If I compare, then I can make decisions. The same thing happens with the objectives. My objectives cannot just be in my head. No, I have to propose them, write them down, and then follow up with them. And so our first example, do you recall that we spoke about 7 areas? And so create a sheet or a graph that fulfills the following objective. On the left-hand side, in the first column, one below the other, you're going to write down the 7 areas. Okay, are you ready? Spiritual area, mental area, emotional area, financial area, laboral area, relational area, and physical area. Write all of them down. And in front of these, you're going to write 5 important aspects. Write these down: objectives, indicators, goals, dates, and action plan. And so you will create a column for each one of these points. And so remember, on your left-hand side, you have the 7 areas. And so on the right-hand side, to each one of the 7 areas, you're going to write objectives, indicators, goals, dates, and action plan. And so this exercise consists in that you should translate, in summary, each one of the objectives, the goals proposed for each one of the areas. And so, for example, so that you can better understand, let's talk about the spiritual area. In the spiritual area, one of the things we discussed was reading the Bible daily. And so let's make an objective. Let's write down every day you're going to read a chapter of the Bible. And so you write this down as a goal, to read a chapter in the Bible each day. Okay, got it? And so there needs to be an indicator. And the indicator can be to have my Bible on hand. Because if you have it there in a drawer or in a closet somewhere, then you're not going to do this. So have it on hand, on your nightstand. And so this will be an indicator to always have it on hand, along with a notepad or a notebook and pen, so that immediately when I get up in the morning, these are the first things I see and grab. So if we talk about objectives, we said to read the Bible each day. And then the indicator is to have my Bible on my nightstand. And my goal is to read the entire Bible by December 31, in which case you would have to read 3 chapters of the Bible a day, and that would be your objective. So your date should be December 31, 2024. 25. Okay, now the action plan, and this is for you to determine what is going to stimulate you to keep up, to remain with this discipline. And so once again, in this action plan, number 1, to have my Bible close. Point number 2, read 3 chapters of the Bible and take notes. And point number 3, go back and review the verses I wrote down. And so the steps on this list can help you. And make sure you always have this list on hand so that you can go back and review your progress towards your objective and your goal. Okay, now let's give another example. My family relationships. And so your objective can be to spend more time with your family. And the indicator can be the amount of time that you will allocate to be with your family. The goal, to go out and do things with your family. to carry out certain tasks together. And as it relates to this, write down your action plan. That can be scheduling time with my family, reserve time with them, the amount of time I'm going to spend with my children. And so you determine each objective and you give it its proper place. And so my dear family, this will allow you to check and to follow up with your objectives. And so in regards to this year, 2025, remember where you should begin as you create your life project or your life plan. The first thing you need to do is an evaluation. And so evaluate each area in the year 2024. Evaluate each one of the 7 areas. And remember that there are 4 questions that will help you evaluate each one of the areas. First question, what did I miss? And so, for example, in my labor, in my work area, this year I said I was going to begin my business, but I didn't do it. And why? Because perhaps I didn't create the company. I did not register it legally. I did not meet with the lawyer. And so what did I not do? And with this, I begin to detect the things where I procrastinated or did not take action. The second thing you should do is when you're evaluating each area, ask yourself what the reason was. Why did you not do it? Did you not have enough time? Was it simply not a priority? A lack of financial resources? And the third question you can ask yourself as you're evaluating is, what should I have done differently? Did I get distracted? Did I do it the wrong way? Should I have done it differently? Or perhaps I should have delegated tasks and I didn't do it. And how can I improve? And so follow these 4 things as you evaluate each area for the year 2024, because once you evaluate and you see the mistakes you made, and so beginning right now, you can take action for 2025 and say, I'm not going to make the same mistakes. Okay, let's move on, my dear family, as we talk about how to convert our challenges into a life plan. Then remember, your goals must be clear. Our goals tell us 4 things that I must set for this year, 2025. Number 1, what I wish to achieve. And this is why I always give you the 7 areas, so we have a structure. And so in each area, have a goal. For example, your spiritual area, write down what your goal is for your spiritual area, what you want to achieve. In my financial area, what I want to achieve. What do I want to achieve in my relational area or my laboral area? So for each area. Number 2, what do I wish to conserve or keep? Things that I know worked. Not everything was bad. Some things worked. There were good things that we have to highlight. And so point number 2 is, what do I wish to keep, to conserve of the things I did? And now the third point leads us to what I wish to eliminate, the things that get in my way and do not allow me to make progress. And lastly, what do I wish to avoid? For example, those things that are a threat to my life in this area. The things I know I need to remove from their roots. And to eliminate these things are critical within our project, because they will help us that as we build our list, our sheet in each area with our goals and objectives, indicators, dates, and action plans, we're able to write these down clearly. And so use these tools. And remember, you have to sit down and take the time. Luke 14:28 says that suppose one of you wants to build a tower, won't you first sit down and estimate the cost? So first we must sit down and estimate. Take the time to organize this. And so this weekend, as you prepare to fast, take the time. Use your notes for each one of the challenges in each one of the 7 areas. And based on today's topic, organize your life project, your life plan for 2025. Because if you take the time, you will have a way to follow up, to measure, to make decisions, because this is a critical point of our plan. My dear family, I have to tell you, you still have time to go back and review challenges. You can access each one through our devotional channel, Devotional Mana, on YouTube, where you can find each one of the challenges. If you missed one, if you fell short, or if you want to listen to it again, so do it, go back, review, and then sit down and make your list with the tools we just discussed today, so you can wrap up your life project, your life plan for 2025. And so we're going to pray for our project, for our plan during our fast. placing them on God's altar and blessing these 7 areas for each one of us. And during each day of our fast, we will pray specifically for each area. Monday, we will pray for our spiritual area and successively for each area. So remember to call your prayer partner and to share what you'll be praying for each week. So let's place these on God's altar and prepare our hearts. Father, thank you for this morning. Thank you for each person in this devotional. I want to pray for them. I want to thank you because they are willing in their hearts to take on these challenges, to write them down, and now make them into a life project. I ask that you challenge the heart of each one of them and that today you fill them with your Holy Spirit, giving them direction in their lives. May this allow them to clarify the purpose for which they are here, the purpose for which you created them. Thank you for inspiring the hearts of each one. Beginning now, I pray that you will prepare our time of fasting, a week where we will see miracles and experience your presence with us. We commend ourselves to you. We ask for your blessing and thank you for being with us. And I wait for you tomorrow, where we will cover our last challenge. Blessings to all.